When you are choosing your build in Albion Online, you have to spend hours grinding it out to reach high specs in anything. If you don't choose wisely, you will realize that you spend all of that time and effort on something that's not all that useful for most things you want to do. That is excruciatingly painful. I'm here to save you from this happening to you, and that's why I'm here to give you an honest take on what you will regret the least. I will recommend items you will always be happy to have high specs in, because they are very versatile and you will always find a good use for them, no matter what content you're into or what new things you might explore in the future. Let's dive in. Starting with cloth armor. This is great if you're focused on dealing as much damage as possible. For the head slot. If you want to do peaceful PvE farming, there is only one good option, Druid Cowl. You can use it for its shield ability, and later if you're interested in joining group activities, you can also give your team energy. For more aggressive PvP activities, the Fiend Cowl is insanely versatile, because it offers a purge which lets you remove all active buffs from your opponent. The second great choice is Cowl of Purity, which lets you deal damage from a long range so you can stop them from mounting and keep them in combat. By the way, if you're on a tight budget, I recommend getting every item in this video in tier 4 or 4.1, and also check for higher quality levels. I often see outstanding quality selling for almost the same price as normal quality, and that's basically a free plus 40 IP. I have another video breaking down everything, like actually everything, about how to max out your item power without breaking the bank. So that's a great video to watch after this one. For the chest piece. The Cleric Robe is the clear winner here. No matter what activity you want to do, you get a defensive buff and increased damage. And when you get more experienced, you can make it work for almost any situation, even if it's not the #1 choice for that activity. For the shoes. For PvE, there aren't really any super good choices for cloth sandals. But if you want to use them, then go for one of the first 3. And all you use them for is the energetic sprint. If you want to do PvP, then Royal Sandals are great, because they increase your damage and have a 7-second unpurgeable sprint. They are pretty expensive, but did you know that you can actually make them yourself? Just play some arena to get your daily arena rewards and stock up on your royal sigils. Then buy some scholar, cleric or mage sandals in the best quality and enchantment level you can find for a reasonable price, and go to the mage's tower, where you can craft the royal sandals for a small fee. They will have the same quality and enchantment level as the shoes you bought, so you will end up with some really good royal sandals just for the price of the basic ones. Here's a summary of the best cloth options, which you will always find a great use for PvE mob farming and also for PvP combat. Now for leather options. These are best if you want a mix of both damage and resistances. For the head slot. The Stalker Hood is a smart investment for both PvE and PvP, as it lets you shred resistances on both mobs and players. So now you can kill both NPCs and PCs. For the chest piece. The Mercenary Jacket is great for both PvE and PvP, as it gives you back HP when you deal damage. If you want to focus on fame farming, the Stalker Jacket helps you kill mobs a lot faster. And if you want to outsmart your enemies and slip through their bloodthirsty fingers, the Assassin Jacket helps you escape when you get ganked. I have a great video about staying safe in lethal zones, where I give you a full build specifically for that and lots of amazing safety tips, so if this is your playstyle, go check it out. For the shoes. The Assassin shoes are great for both PvE and PvP because of their versatility. In PvE, you can use the Refreshing Sprint, and in PvP you can use Swift Cut. These are also great for solo instance content, like Corrupted Dungeons or the Mists. If you want to focus on arena or faction, then Stalker shoes are great, because on the battlefield people like to wombo combo you, and you need to have a split-second flash ready to save your ass. Here's a summary of the leather items it pays off to level up the most, for both PvE and PvP. And here's some good options for arena or faction warfare. And finally, plate armor. This is the best category if you want to feel like a tank. For the head slot, The soldier helmet lets you block all damage for 2.5 seconds, and the guardian helmet is another amazing choice. It gives you a shield that lets you mount up or remove all damage over time effects. I go into more detail in the survival guide I've already mentioned. And if you want to do PvP, then Helmet of Valor. Helmet of Valor has an AoE purge, and it's the only helmet that can reveal people out of the undead cape. It's a really strong purge, unless of course you miss it. For the chest piece. A lot of people like soldier armor because it heals you like crazy. But in fact it is so overpowered that the Albion dev team has announced it will be nerfed in the upcoming update. So it will no longer be as good and probably not the best use of your time. I would actually only advise going for plate chest if you want to do very specific things. If you know you want to be a group's tank and you will mainly focus on learning how to engage with a bigger group, then focus on leveling up the Judicator armor. For any other activities, I actually wouldn't recommend plate chest pieces. Go for cloth for higher damage or leather for a mix of resistance and damage. And your time will be much better spent. For boots, soldier boots are very versatile and are a good option for both PvE and PvP. And also for group activities. They have one of the best sprints, lasting 15 seconds and increasing your speed by an average of about 60%. Here's a summary for the plate armor pieces you will always be happy to have high specs in, for PvE and also for PvP. That's it for armor. Of course you can mix and match all of these categories based on what you prefer and what abilities serve you the best. Now, weapons. In terms of PvE, there is a clear best choice here. If you want to spec up one weapon to 100 and have the time investment really pay off. The Battle Axe. It lets you do basically every activity because it has great sustain, AoE, range, mobility and damage too. So you can configure it to anything you want to do and have one really strong weapon for any kind of content you want. Mob farming, killing aspect, solo, mist, arena, faction warfare, you name it. No other weapon has this full range of abilities. It is also very beginner friendly. I know there is so many cool weapons, but many of them need you to have more advanced understanding of spacing and what distance to keep from your opponent. The Battle Axe is very forgiving when you don't have a lot of experience yet. In your offhand, go for the torch as it speeds up your cooldowns and your attacks. But please feel free to experiment with other offhand choices. For PvP, my top recommendation is the Bloodletter with the torch. It has free mobility spells, and if you pair it with the Stalker jacket, you also have decent AoE and you can participate in most content, so it's pretty well rounded. Do explore the other weapons and don't let anyone tell you what to play. But you definitely won't regret leveling up my recommendations, because they are so versatile. As for the cape, the best choice for PvE content is the Tedford cape. It increases your AoE and gives you faster clears. For PvP, the Undead cape has the best potential for keeping you alive, as it makes you automatically go invisible when you're almost dead. If you want to know how to correctly use it so you can consistently save your butt, you can also find it in my Lethal Zones survival video. Now for food. For PvE content, cabbage soup is the best option. It makes your health regenerate really fast between clearing mobs. If you're really poor, then catfish is a cheaper alternative with less but still great regeneration. For PvP, use beef stew for combat damage, or Avalonian beef stew if you want both combat damage and health regen. For potions, Gigantify is a great option for any kind of fight, making you immune to forced movement and letting you survive the initial burst. The invisibility potion can be used both to escape ganks and also for aggressive play, because it lets you sneak up on someone and surprise attack them. Here's a summary of these items I just talked about, for fame farming and PvE, and also for more aggressive playstyle and PvP. Lastly, as your mount, take the tier 3 horse. It's cheap and it will bring you everywhere you need. And if you cannot be bothered to even decide between these options that I gave you, here are 2 complete builds that I recommend for you. But first guys, please help me out. I'd really love to get my Albion creator code, and I need to reach 5,000 subscribers. As you can see, I'm putting in a lot of effort into making high quality videos. This one helps you get an easier start into Albion Online, and you can help me get a start into being a creator. It only costs you one click, but it means so much to me. If you're subscribed, then thank you. I really appreciate it. And now, here is the full build I recommend for you if you want to do PvE. The first build is the Battle Axe. You have a torch in your offhand, giving you cooldown and attack speed. You pair this with an all-leather attire using the Swiftness passive. So the weapon and armor combined give you a massive attack speed bonus. That attack speed really boosts your DPS against single targets. And with your mercenary jacket you can easily heal a lot of HP back because you'll be able to get 8 attacks in really quickly. That means you can clear single targets in PvE really well. The Battle Axe combined with the Tedford Cape should also provide enough AoE damage for bigger groups of mobs, and once those mobs have lost half of their HP, you can pierce them with your Stalker Hood to finish the job quickly. So to sum up, you have great single target clear, great AoE clear, and you have a great piercing ability to speed both of those up. On top of that, you have amazing sustain because both the Battle Axe and the Mercenary Jacket heal you. And as for PvP, the build is actually very similar to the PvE one. You just swap the weapon to the Bloodletter and your chest to the Stalker Jacket. All the passive abilities stay the same, so you still have great attack speed and good single target DPS. Additionally, the Bloodletter offers insane mobility, so you will feel really safe doing any activity. Because the one with the most mobility controls when and how the fight happens. You have a lot of AoE damage with the cape and the jacket, and you have an execute both on your head and on your weapon, which is really great for killing people who are low on health. This weapon and build enables you to explore the world, be ballsy, and then still have a really good chance of not dying. You will definitely not regret having high specs in both of these builds. They both excel at being exceptionally good at almost everything. And they only set you back around 150k silver, so they are pretty affordable. Now you have your build, but your IP sucks. You try to go out and have fun, but you feel weak because you have no spec on your weapons. I have a great video explaining how beginners can make a huge jump in IP to make the long and tedious grind of farming endless hours to get your levels up so much easier. So go and watch that next. Thank you for making me an official Albion creator. Now, this is the time to give back. Comment your favorite weapon down below, and a week from now, 3 of you guys will get a 7-day premium code. Thank you all and see you in the next video.